All right, good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. I'm your host, Ron Arenas. Happy Thursday to everyone. We've got a great show for you today, and our first guest is Ron Kirk of Arcadia Landscaping. Welcome, Ron. How you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good. So thank you for coming on. I know we planned this a while back, and
Yes.
it was good.
Yeah, we have. It's been a while.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your business.
My name is Ron Kirk. I retired from the Arizona Department of Corrections. I was a sergeant. After retirement, I
So
decided.
you're over at Wilmot, right?
Well, I traveled around. I worked
Oh.
Wilmot. I've worked Florence.
Oh, wow.
I've worked death row very briefly.
Wow, okay.
So I've worked with minors, kids under the age of 18.
Right.
And I did my time, and I decided to open up my first landscape company, which was called Swirl Desert Landscaping. I ran that out of my house, out of my garage, drove my wife crazy. So I started with just me and a truck and a trailer. And I kind of progressed that up to having like 5 or 6 employees. I had 2 trucks, I had 2 trailers.
Right.
Then my wife, I wanted to grow it.
Yeah. But you outgrew your house, I'm sure.
Yeah, I did. Well, in a manner of speaking, I did. But I wasn't really looking at going big. I wanted to kind of stay in that medium range.
Okay.
So I went ahead and we accidentally came across Arcadia Landscape that was for sale.
Okay.
So my wife and I acquired it. We looked into it, and here we are now. We're the owners now. We've owned them almost 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah, and Arcadia's been around since 1983.
Wow.
We are one of the longest landscape companies in Tucson, and we are one of the few now that's family owned and operated.
Right.
And
I love that.
Yeah, family owned and operated. Yourself, you're family owned, operated. Family Air, same way.
Yeah.
So we try to stay with family owned companies because family owned companies is what makes our town.
Sure. Exactly.
Family owns will put it back into their town. They will do like the Christmas parade of lights. We donate to the Ron McDonald Walk for kids.
Right.
I'm with the Red Sleigh Toy Run.
Right. I was telling you that one of my friends is with that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I started that with Chaplain Steve Young. He worked at the prison as well.
Oh, okay. And my friend is over at the prison too.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's the maintenance guy I was telling you about.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. He's a gray shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great shirt.
So Chaplain Young had this idea of, going and getting presents for kids that families can't afford Christmas for their child.
Right.
And he started off, I think it was like 4, 5, 6 motorcycles, and he had a sleigh that the prison built, and he pulled it with his motorcycle. And as time has gone on, this thing has grown so massively that it's just taken off.
Right.
This coming December will be my 20-year mark.
Oh, wow.
That I've been doing it.
Yeah. I've seen you guys go through town. It's been a couple years, but I've seen you guys go through town.
Yeah, my son, he used to ride with me on the back, and because he loves to give back to his community. That's just one thing. My family, all of us are, and so I've been continually doing it. Now my son now is 23. He works for the company, and he now has his motorcycle. Mom does not like that too much, and so now he, for the first or second time, I believe it was his first time, he got to ride on his own motorcycle, and he got to do it, which made me a very proud papa.
Sure. Yeah. What I always say about the family-owned businesses, the small businesses, is we're the people that are, we're in the grocery stores with you, we're in the churches with you, we're at the little restaurants with you, we sponsor your kids, baseball team or soccer team or whatever, we're invested in the community.
And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. What I have found is corporate companies are there for one thing, and they're there to put money in their pocket.
Sure.
I'm not saying all corporate companies don't give back to certain communities. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying that they don't.
Right.
But most of them do not. They're there to see how much money they can make so they can go out here and they can buy themselves another company.
Right. Well, and also, I mean, their accounting department or whatever, or marketing department, or all the different departments, they're in a different state. They're in Kansas, or they're in New York, or they're in Florida. So Tucson is just, store number 3,000, and how much profit is that store making? They're
Yes.
not invested usually into that community.
Yes. So what's happening is corporate is moving in, and in order for you to own a business in the state of Arizona, you have to be a resident of Arizona. So with that being said, they are coming in and they're buying out a company, and then they're turning right around and they're hiring somebody that is a resident from Arizona. They're making them sign all this paperwork stating that they are the owner. But if you actually call them out on it, they're saying, oh, we're partnered with them.
Okay.
And so if that person that really didn't even buy the company, and he's liable.
Yeah,
for
that's a scary thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you're waving a lot of money in front of somebody's face as a salary, I mean, a lot of people are all about the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
They'll do whatever it takes to have their livelihood that they have.
Right.
So what I try to tell people is, if you're going to hire somebody, investigate it, look into it, because you're not going to see a corporate company come out here and do and give to a foundation. You're not going to see them. A lot of them go to, the Ron McDonald Walk for Kids.
Sure.
You're not going to see them, but you will see a lot of the family owned.
Yeah.
That's what you'll find.
Yeah, exactly. So what are some of the services that your company does?
So we do a lot. We do not do residential maintenance.
Okay.
But we will do residential, like when it comes to backyard makeovers, front yard makeovers. If you have a tree that needs to be trimmed, if you need irrigation repairs or a new replacement.
Okay.
We do water features. They built a pond for me at my house. They wanted to do it, and I said, build up my house and let's see where it goes.
Okay.
We do block walls. We do pavers. We do flagstone. We do pretty much everything you can think of. My company right now, for example, we're the landscape company now that is working on the Reed Park Zoo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's called Out of Asia. So we're working on that. At the time, there was 3 phases of Reed Park Zoo. There was a parking lot, and then there was World of Play, and then now Out of Asia. The World of Play is a playground for kids. And we came in and we did all the landscaping there. We planted the bamboo, the pine trees. We did all the things. And then the contractor, he subcontracts other things like painting and plumbing and so forth. We have done a lot of the parks here in Tucson. Fort Lowell Park, that's one of them.
Oh, okay.
And we went in there and helped revamp that as well. We have done a lot of big projects. We've done some work for the U of A. Which we're very proud of.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't go Cats, right?
Yeah,
go
that's
Cats.
right.
So who wouldn't want to do some work and have that saying, hey, we did that.
Right.
So we do a lot. I mean, you name it, really. I could sit here all day and tell you the things that we do. When I first took over, Arcadia didn't do the things that we're doing now. We weren't doing the big projects like Reed Park Zoo and all the Tucson parks.
Right.
They weren't doing big projects like that. And my son, when he came in, he took over the construction division. Well, the construction division wasn't doing that well. Excuse me. And he has literally taken that construction division and literally took it to the next level. So he's done very well. And for somebody that's 23 years of age to go ahead and take a construction division and do something like that, it takes a lot of work.
Oh,
and he's done a great job for us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
That's really good. Yeah, I love, you mentioned about backyard, the backyards and the front yards and everything and the water features. I mean, you can do flagstone, you can do ponds, and you can probably do little other water features like waterfalls and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, basically anything that you need done, like I said, we can do it. Irrigation, tree planting, palm tree trimming, winter flowers, summer flowers, hydro seeding. God, the list goes on and on. Winter rye. I mean, we basically do everything that you can think of.
Okay. Well, what about like the gas features, like the
We don't deal with the gas because
Okay.
in order to do anything with gas, you have to have a separate RLC number
Okay.
to do that. So we don't really like to get into that. We will have to subcontract that out when it comes to
Okay.
things like that. We do low voltage lighting.
Okay.
We don't really deal with coming in there and moving your electrical box from over here to over here.
Right.
Because that, again, takes another type of licensing.
Right. So you could put the whole project together and then hire another licensed contractor to do that part of it. Yeah.
Yes. That way, it just keeps us in the good graces of the registered contractors.
Sure. You're within your limits of in the scope of your license.
I am. Yes. And that's what I have now found in the whole time I've been doing landscape. Now I've been doing landscaping for 30 plus years. And I enjoy it because I like to watch things grow.
Yeah.
I think my wife told me one time I should have been a woman. Because I like to go out there in my yard. I'll plant flowers and and I'll change soils out. And I just like to watch things grow. Something will pop in my pot and I don't know what it is. I'm like, let me add water to it. Let me just see what this is.
Right.
You just never know.
Yeah.
So, but you were talking about the RLC. I am finding as I'm going down the road that there are people out there that are not RLC.
Sure.
They have no number.
Right. They haven't been licensed. They don't have the insurance. They don't have the bonds. They haven't gone through all the procedures that you're supposed to.
That is correct.
Right.
So the ROC has set guidelines for people, and if you want to go out here and do certain types of work.
Right. And just to clarify, the ROC is the Arizona Register of Contractors.
That is correct.
Yes. So that's our governing body as a contractor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when you get your license and you have certain you have certain titles that will allow you to do certain things. Like for us, ours is a CR21 and our number is 331447. So anytime you do any work or advertise, you must have your number on your business cards. You got to have it on your trucks. You got to have it on your invoicing. You got to have it on your proposals.
Right.
You got to have that on there. And what that does is it protects the customer from anything that may happen onto their property.
Right.
You're finding a lot of these people that don't have no name on the side of their trucks. They have no number. They have no uniforms. And most of the time, the reason they don't have those is because they do not want to be found.
Yeah.
You also have these individuals that are hired 2 or 3 of these people to go out, their employees, if that's what you want to call them. They're not paying no workman's comp. They're not paying no unemployment insurance. And if something happens to that employee, say he falls and trips and hurts his ankle, well, guess what? This individual is not going to pay that medical bill. A lot of them also, too, will have burner phones to where if they break a window, and they say they're going to fix it and they leave. Well, if that customer tries to call them, all they do is take that burner phone and they'll just throw it in the trash, break it, throw it in the trash, and they'll go get another burner phone and they'll have a new number. So where you can't find them.
Yeah.
So
and we've run into that too, where someone either does a repair or an installation, and then they call us and they're like, "Hey, this brand new unit isn't working right," or "We just had this unit fixed, it's not working right," and we go out there and we're like, "Well, why didn't you just had this installed or whatever? Why don't you have the people that installed it come back? They're liable for it for at least a year." And they're like, either, "Oh, I don't want those people back on my property," or "I can't find them." Those are usually the 2 answers that we get.
That's where and we get the same type of answers. But when you try to explain to a customer, this is why we have an RLC, they have it in their mind that we're giving them a sales pitch. We're not giving them a sales pitch. We have a bond, which is part of the ROC. That bond is to protect that customer. So that way, if somebody calls and they complain and they file a complaint with the registered contractors, they can actually file for a bond, and that bond will go ahead and potentially take care of whatever is broken or a fractured window, whatever the case may be.
Right.
That's what that bond is there for. It's there to protect the customer.
Right.
But people in this day and age don't care about that. All they care about is how cheap can I get this done? You can't come in here with a beer budget and have a champagne taste and expect to have a Mona Lisa done, and you're not willing to pay for it. We try to give a good quality job, but you can't sit here and try to negotiate prices, because it's like you walking into Best Buy and you see a 75-inch TV sitting on the wall, and that TV's $800. Are you going to walk up to that sales guy at the counter and go, "Hey, you want $800 for it, but I'll give you $450"?
Right.
They're going to laugh you right out of the store. So why do you think it's okay for you to negotiate with a landscape company or air conditioning company or a plumbing company? We have bills to pay too, and the ROC is one of them.
Yeah.
And, we also have a spray license, where we're allowed to go out here and spray for weeds, which is post-emergent and pre-emergent. You'll see people all the time out there, especially on the weekends, where they're out there spraying, and they don't have the licensing. And the reason they're out there spraying on the weekends is because they know the Arizona Agriculture Department is not going to be around on the weekends to go out here and catch them. So it really gets under my skin, because I've worked hard, and you yourself have worked hard to get your licensing, to do the right thing and be legal.
Right.
So if the ROC is not going to enforce the rules, then why do we have an ROC? Because we as the ROC members, we're the one that puts that money in that paycheck in your pocket.
That's true. Let's hold on for just a moment. Let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back here in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license, or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and we've already experienced hot weather. Is your air conditioner ready for the long hot summer? For the month of April, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing will be offering a $99 home wellness plan for all new customers. This includes your spring maintenance, fall maintenance, and a plumbing maintenance. Call now, 520-492-0748, or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Piper Family Painting. We believe great paint does more than just change a color. It protects a home and the people inside of it. From careful prep to the final coat, our team shows up with pride, precision, and respect for your property. We don't rush. We don't cut corners. We paint it like it's our own home, because in this Tucson community, it is. Piper Family Painting, bringing new colors to the Old West.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
All right, we are back. You're watching Southwest Flavor, and our guest is Ron Kirk from Arcadia Landscaping. So we were talking a little bit about the spraying for weeds.
Yes.
Tell us why it's so important to be licensed because, my view is, you're putting chemicals together. And so, to be licensed, you have to you're supposed to know what you're doing, right?
Yes, that is correct. The agriculture department they want to know what's going into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put too much of a certain chemical in the ground, it can leach into the water table.
Sure.
They also want to make sure that you're not putting the wrong chemical on the ground because there are some chemicals out there that's not meant for around ponds. In order
water sources or something. Yeah.
And the reason is because in order for you to spray around ponds, you have to have an aquatic license.
Okay.
To do that. So we don't have an aquatics license. So it's important to know that when you're having somebody spray weeds and they're done, the agriculture law states that when they're done, you have to have a report from that individual that says this is a chemical, this is how much we put on the ground, this was a wind speed, this was a temperature.
Oh wow!
And we have to have all that data, and then we have to give that to the customer, and that also gets reported to the Arizona Agriculture Department.
Wow. Okay.
So we have a post-emergent, a pre-emergent.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in those is a post-emergent goes out and we kill the weeds.
Right.
Okay. We don't like to kill weeds that are 4 or 5 inches with a spray because it makes your property look like it doesn't look good.
Sure.
Because
you just have a bunch of dead things. Yeah.
Right. But when they're real little and you spray them, you don't really see them.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it blends in with the DG or what they call rock.
Mm-hmm.
The pre-emergent is what goes in and it sterilizes the weed seeds to prevent the weed from germinating.
Right.
Now, a lot of people have the idea, not concept, but they have the idea that if you come out and spray a pre-emergent on my property, well, that's going to be a cure-all and I'll never have a weed again. The agriculture department tells us that we're only allowed to put pre-emergent on a property every 6 months. Because they don't want too much of it on there to leach into the water table.
Sure.
So if you want a pre-emergent service and you're out there tired of doing the weeds, then you need to have us come out, do 3 or 4 or 5 services. And over time, what you're going to find is you'll see maybe a weed over here. You may see a weed over here. But you're not going to have the weed problem that you normally would have.
You're not going to have that jungle of weeds.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're looking for maintenance, sign up for the pre-emergent service, because if your property is what we call an overabundance of weeds or blown out with weeds,
right,
the company can't go out and spend 4 or 5 hours to go ahead and clean up these weeds. We've got to do a pre-emergent service. So pay for that pre-emergent service every 6 months, and then you will have a lot less work that you have to do at your property.
Right.
Let us do the work for you while you sit home and relax and watch the football game.
Right. Yeah, because those seeds are in the ground no matter what.
Yes, birds fly over, they drop them. The wind blows and carries them from trees and other people's properties. That's why.
Your current weeds have seeds in them.
They do,
and they drop them and everything.
And if you don't keep your yard clean, then you're gonna have snakes. That's the other thing we do. Is my company has an emergency snake removal that we're on call 24/7. We're the only landscape company in town that has a license to remove snakes off of your property.
Yeah, let's talk about that because you're contracted with the city of Tucson, right?
I am contracted with the city of Tucson. I do have a license through Arizona Game and Fish. I do get called out to remove rattlesnakes. Or any type of reptile. I was honored to got to remove a Gila monster.
Really?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, my son saw one on a job this week sometime. I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Which you don't see a lot of Gila monsters.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And that's our mascot. Matter of fact, to bring that up, our mascot's a Gila monster. We have him on the side of all of our trucks and our invoices and everything else. But if you keep up on your property and you take care of your property and get the trees up off the ground, get your bushes up off the ground, keep the litter off your ground, you're going to prevent from you having snakes.
Yeah.
If you have prickly pear, you're going to have pack rats.
Yes.
Pack rats will destroy your property. But what that also draws in is your rattlesnakes as well, because now that's food for them.
Right. Exactly. They smell them.
They do.
Yep.
So keep up on your property, and you will have a lot less chance of seeing a reptile on your property. Not saying it's going to happen, but I mean, it's a lot less chance.
Sure. Exactly. And pack rats are, like you said, they're horrible for you. They destroy your air conditioners and your cars and pretty much everything.
Yeah, they do, because they just go in there because they're trying to build a nest. And pack rats will go into a prickly pear because when they have the babies will eat on the prickly pear as food, and it also keeps them out of the sun. It keeps them out of the elements. It keeps them away from predators. So clean it up. If you don't want to do it, then call us.
Right. Well, let's take a quick. Let's see. I'm looking at the time, but I'm thinking about our next guest coming on. Let's go on for a couple more minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, how did you get into the reptile capturing?
So I was born and raised in East Texas. Go Longhorns. And I worked for a gentleman when I was probably, I want to say 17, 18 years old, and it was Wright's Lawn Care. Well, Mr. Wright used to do snake removal, and then he asked me if I wanted to do it, and I love reptiles. So he taught and trained me how to do it. Well, when I got to Arizona, I wanted to find something I can do that other landscape companies are not doing. I said, what can I provide my customers, and what can I provide the city of Tucson that no other landscape company is doing?
Right.
So I went to Arizona Game and Fish. I talked to them, and they made me fill out a whole bio about myself and the training that I had and all kinds of stuff. And so I did that, and we got the contract with the city of Tucson this past June of 25. And between June of 25 to around late October, I removed close to over 200 rattlesnakes.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of rattlesnakes.
Well, I've also removed gopher snakes too.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had to remove one at a restaurant, and it went into the drainage pipe. And when I pulled it out, it was roughly about 14 feet long.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I stretched it. I'm 5'11". I've shrunk since then. I'm 5'11", and when I raised it up over my head, the body was curved into a C point, and it laid on the ground.
Oh, wow.
So it was huge.
Yeah. Well, Ron, thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
It's been fun.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you on again.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I look forward to it.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be up with our next guest in just a moment.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
Hey Tucson, why do we accept pain as normal just because we're over 40? Nearly 8 out of 10 Americans suffer with back pain. At Wellness Key Chiropractic, we help people after car accidents with chronic neck and back pain, numbness tingling down the arms. If you're like me, you like to spend time outside with the family, hiking, biking, everything. Don't let that pain stop you. Wellness Key Chiropractic, we help that body move better so you can be the better version of yourself.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and we've already experienced hot weather. Is your air conditioner ready for the long hot summer? For the month of April, Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing will be offering a $99 home wellness plan for all new customers. This includes your spring maintenance, fall maintenance, and any plumbing maintenance. Call now, 520-492-0748, or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling.
right, we are back with Southwest Flavor. Check us out every Tuesday and 10 a.m. Our next guest is Zach Yentzer with the Glendale Chamber of Commerce. Zach, are you there? There he is. Hey, Zach, how you doing?
All right, can you hear me okay?
I can. A little bit echo.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a while.
It has been. You're looking good.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself and your recent move up to Glendale.
Yes. Well, my name is Zach Yentzer, and I have the privilege of being the president and CEO now of the Glendale Chamber of Commerce. But that comes on the heels of about a quarter century in southern Arizona. So my family moved to Arizona to the Tucson area in 2002. We followed family here. And all the important stuff in my life happened in Tucson. Met my wife, had kids, got through high school, first few jobs, and was able to work for the Tucson Metro Chamber of Commerce, which then became the Chamber of Southern Arizona, doing government affairs work and really trying to create a environment that helped businesses thrive and succeed in Southern Arizona. And then 5 months ago, as you know, Ron, had the opportunity to jet up the road a few miles and take the helm here at the Glendale Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, fantastic. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So how has the last 5 months gone?
Very well, very well. My wife's parents, when they first got married, they lived in Glendale. My wife grew up in Buckeye, and so it's been nice to have family here in the West Valley and get to know the West Valley a little bit better. And Glendale is such a unique community, Ron. I think we'll get into it probably, but Glendale really reminds me of what it would look like if Tucson and Phoenix had a baby. The warmth and connectedness and the kind of cultural heritage that Tucson has with the vibrancy and future forward energy of the Phoenix market in one place. And so it's been a lot of fun, and was able to make some good statewide contacts through my work with the Tucson Metro Chamber. So it's been a pretty seamless transition, but Glendale is headed in a very fun direction. It's good to be a part of things here.
Very cool. So, how big is the city of Glendale, and is there a lot of new development in there?
Yeah, Ron, it's wild. So population-wise, Glendale is about 250,000 people, 250,000. So about half the size of Tucson proper.
Right.
But just to give you, an example, I went to a groundbreaking for commercial development, some warehouse space a couple weeks ago, and I learned that in that one corner of one district of the city, there have been 30 million square feet of commercial and industrial development in just that one part of one district. And over the last 10 years, Glendale has seen $3 billion in private development investment and over 20,000 jobs. So Glendale, Ron, is the growth center of the growth side of the valley, which is a growth area of the growing state here in the Southwest. So Glendale is very much the hub right now. And a lot of people don't know, but there are major multinational companies that are located in Glendale. So not only do we have the Cardinals, which people know about, that are in Glendale, people know about the new Vibe Resort, which is probably the biggest of its size outside of Vegas that is being built. But Nestle, White Claw, Red Bull, and other major multinational companies are headquartered and operating here out of Glendale. So it's this booming economic center that obviously I knew a little bit about, but I'm getting to learn a lot more about it as I get here in the seat these first 5 months.
Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, do you think a lot of that growth was spurred by the Cardinals when they, built their stadium there?
That certainly helped for sure. But what I was able to find out is that Tucson and Glendale were really in a similar place about 10 years ago, both on the verge of bankruptcy after the Great Recession. Glendale formed what they now call the Glendale Way, right? So they had city management churn, balance sheets that were awful, city staff leaving out the door, and a new city manager came in about 10 years ago. And he said, look, the only way we survive as a community is through economic development. Because when we create a great environment for economic development, that sales tax revenue comes into our coffers to develop great services in a great community. So they actually sat down with the private sector and said, what is the right way that, staying with our values and how we want to run the city, that we can help development happen faster. So they created faster permitting, faster development, faster interactions with city staff, and made things 3x, 5x faster for private sector growth. And they now call that the Glendale Way. And just that private public sector collaboration has made all the difference and just created absolute booming growth out here.
Oh, wow. And, I hear a lot of the same things from like the town of Marana and the town of Oro Valley, just, to have that healthy business environment, and that in turn, brings in the sales revenue, the taxes, and helps the whole town.
Yeah. No, and Ron, what I think is really exciting, certainly coming from Tucson, is that, spending a quarter century in Tucson, the fear always was, well, if we are open for business, if we work with business, we'll lose our culture. We'll become just beige and brown, we'll become soulless, we'll become like Phoenix,
Right.
And that was always a stereotype. And after a quarter century, that stuff starts to sink in deep. What's really cool about Glendale, and I was talking to a council member the other day who's been here for probably 50 years of her life. She said, what is amazing to me is that we've had this 10 years of booming growth while maintaining our sense of identity and culture and heritage. And so, Ron, if you came up here, you'd be blown away. There is historic districts here. There are people who've been here for a long time that still feel that hometown feel. Glendale, to me, is the proof of what any community can believe, and that is you can grow and be viable, not at the expense of your culture and heritage and identity. Glendale's found out how to keep both happening. And, as a Tucsonian for so long, I kind of stereotyped, a soulless, a cultureless identity in the Valley. And the opposite is true, at least in Glendale. You can't have both. It's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, right. I mean, I grew up in Tucson, so I've been here a long time, and you always hear that Phoenix is kind of the enemy, and Phoenix is just this huge soulless monster that we don't want to be. We want to stay this little old pueblo, this little town. But yeah, definitely things need to change in Tucson, and it sounds like Glendale made all the right changes, and they're on the cusp of being developed as a town that you want to be in.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Ron, I love your reference to Marana because I lived in Marana before moving to Glendale. And I felt and sensed so much of what you did about Marana, that Marana has the leadership in place, I believe, to make a viable, strong community, but to stay connected to its roots. And I think Marana is a few years behind where Glendale is, but is heading where Glendale is. And to your point, my North Star here is that Glendale is really already in many ways, but heading towards more so being a city on the same lines as Arlington and Anaheim.
Oh.
So, when you think of Arlington, you don't necessarily think of Dallas, you think of the Dallas Cowboys. When you think of Anaheim, you think of Disneyland, not necessarily Los Angeles.
Right.
No, those are suburbs, cities and towns of those larger metros, but they have their own national identity. And I see so much the same for Glendale of really becoming that nationally branded hub that is known for its sports entertainment, but also has 4 or 5 key industry clusters that are driving economic growth as well. And I think any city can follow this path and achieve similar results.
Wow, fantastic. What was I going to say here? Oh, As you know, I've been involved with the Marana Chamber and the Oro Valley Chamber for many years, and I just see how involved they are with the towns. You know, the Marana Chamber is involved with the town, and the Oro Valley is involved with the town. How does that work the same pretty much with Glendale?
It does. It does. We've had to work for it though. A healthy partnership between electeds and city staff and the chamber is the secret sauce. Again, you never want, yes, you never want a chamber just to be, you know, a department of a city or town where, you know, it's all in lockstep. We have to represent businesses, and sometimes that's going to be a different point of view than if you're working in the public sector. But we have an outstanding relationship with our mayor and council that we fought for, with our economic development partners at the city of Glendale. It is night and day different to what I experienced in the Tucson market. You have folks who run businesses in the past or currently do, who are on council, who understand what it's like to sign the front of a check. They understand how the decisions they make every day impacts businesses because they've been a business once as well. And they want to figure out how to have a big welcome mat out for business and private industry to call Glendale home. Like, it's an actual effort to say, we want you here. How can we say yes in a way that is true to our values, to your business, so that we are all successful? Ron, that is not only to have a great connection with mayor and council, but to share a business focus is why you the success here that you do. And it is, again, it is night and day different from what I experienced in the Tucson market, complete 180. And it's refreshing, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you see the proof in the pudding. The roads are great. The police departments are funded. The economy is booming. Jobs are growing. It's not rocket science, but it does take a few key recipes.
It does. It does. And a lot of hard work also.
And a lot of hard work from everybody.
That's right. That's right. Hey, stick with us, Zach. We're going to take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back here in just a couple minutes. All right?
You got it.
All right. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
Piper Family Painting. We believe great paint does more than just change a color. It protects a home and the people inside of it. From careful prep to the final coat, our team shows up with pride, precision, and respect for your property. We don't rush. We don't cut corners. We paint it like it's our own home, because in this Tucson community, it is. Piper Family Painting, bringing new colors to the Old West.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
Hey Tucson, why do we accept pain as normal just because we're over 40? Nearly 8 out of 10 Americans suffer with back pain. At Wellness Chiropractic, we help people after car accidents with chronic neck and back pain, numbness tingling down the arms. If you're like me, you like to spend time outside with the family, hiking, biking, everything. Don't let that pain stop you. Wellness Chiropractic, we help that body move better so you can be the better version of yourself.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
You're watching Southwest Flavor, and we're talking with Zach Yentzer of the Glendale Chamber of Commerce. So, Zach, it's so refreshing, just all the things that you said, the way that Glendale is operating and all the strides that they've making. I'm really happy for you and your family. It's refreshing, but it's also a little bit frustrating just because we're here in the Tucson area, and we would love to have those same changes happen down here.
Yeah, in so many ways, Ron, Tucson has my heart, and it was such a beautiful, place for me to meet my wife and get married and have kids, and got to be a part of what happened downtown, and that was fun. But certainly getting to see the environment up here does make my heart break a little bit for Tucson, in the sense of, we know that the Tucson market is the only one of the 12 major markets that are measured in the MAP dashboard that lost jobs in the last report. Other cities are growing jobs, are growing the economy. That's a worrying metric. And to your point, getting to see what a more business-friendly environment looks like and how it does boost quality of life, and really the key toggles that can be changed to make it happen. I think anywhere, certainly makes it hard to see, where Tucson is at, when I think it could be a booming gem of a place close to the border. Its industries of strength. And I know my old organization, the Chamber of Southern Arizona, and all the chambers in the region, I think, are doing really good work around trying to figure out what are the keys to success in Southern Arizona. And I know there's a lot of people that work at it, and I'm watching from afar.
Right. So you've been up in Glendale for 5 months. Tell us a couple places that you found, some little mom and pop restaurants that you're proud of and you frequent.
Yes. No, I love that question. Glendale has 4 major economic corridors. One is the Westgate area, and that's where the stadium's at. One is the Arrowhead Mall area. That's the north side of Glendale. The Commerce 303 is where, the major warehousing distributors, Nestle, Roush, Red Bull, White Claw. By the way, any White Claw that anybody drinks comes from Glendale, which I didn't know until I got here. And then the 4th major corridor, which is how I'm going to answer your question, is downtown Glendale. So downtown Glendale is just finishing some major renovations, And downtown is one of those really almost historic Route 66 type of downtowns, a really cool experience that is about ready to enter its next chapter. But a lot of the long time, I mean, talking since late 1800s, businesses in Glendale are in downtown Glendale. And there's a couple of places down there, whether it's Flavors in the Park, it's a great Mexican restaurant downtown.
Okay.
The Black Sheep is a great coffee spot. Homage is a great coffee spot. And so I have tried to find some of those more local mom and pop restaurants to go to and help to support local businesses. There's an incredible historic district in downtown Glendale, and there's a Old English tea house that's been there since 1895, and there's been relatively few owners, and it's a valley recognized location that's here in Glendale. So a lot of history and culture in downtown, and looking forward to what comes next. We actually hired the former city manager from Gilbert, who hired just a few weeks ago his economic development director from Gilbert. The two of them are now in Glendale, and that's significant because they were the team that really transformed Gilbert's downtown. And if you remember a few years ago, I mean, Gilbert was a very, very small city.
Right.
And now it's this kind of booming area of the East Valley. So the folks that did that have now come over to Glendale. And so the last 10 years were really that stabilization period that you talked about, where we were almost in bankruptcy, a lot of churn in city leadership. We were now in this really stable spot of massive growth. Now the next 10 years, I think, are that supercharging of it and really establishing our identity as an economic hub. And that's the next 10 years I'm really looking forward to.
Fantastic. Yeah, you're in a good place. You really are. Well, our time is about up. Hey, I would like to take you up and we'll schedule a lunch one of these days, and I'll run up there and have lunch with you at one of these fantastic places.
Just an hour and a half up the road.
Yeah, that's not too bad. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Zach, for coming on today, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Absolutely, Ron. Congratulations on all the success with the show, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, that's another episode of Southwest Flavor. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. We will see you next week.